Welcome to VLearn's online class of MCS 003. In today's session, we will discuss about the propositional logics, and the topics to be covered under propositional logics are logical study of valid and sound argument, propositional logic. Next one is semantics or meaning in propositional logics, logic deduction, syntax of predicate logic, Prenix normal form, standard form, and applications of first order predicate logic. First of all, we have to discuss about the symbolic logic. What is symbolic logic? It is a formal language for representing facts about object and relationship between the objects of a problem domain along with the precise inferencing mechanism for reasoning and deduction. So you can also say symbolic logic is a formal language for representing facts about object and relationship between objects in a symbolic form. Now next is inferencing mechanism. Inferencing mechanism means which derives the knowledge which is not explicitly or you can say directly available in the knowledge base, but which can be logically inferred from what is given in the knowledge base. Means to derive the knowledge from the knowledge base which is not directly given, the inferencing mechanism is used. Now the symbolic representation and not the original facts and relationships are manipulated in order to make the conclusions and to solve a particular problem. Next is logic. It is the analysis and appraisal of arguments. Now, argument is a set of statements that consist of a finite number of statements, and valid argument is one which it would be contradictory. Before discussing about the non-logical operators, I want to discuss some of the descriptions. Now you can see here the symbolic logic, which is a formal language used for representing facts about the object and relationship between the objects of a problem domain, and a precise inferencing mechanism for reasoning and deduction. Now, what is inferencing mechanism? As I already discussed with you, it is used to derive the knowledge from a knowledge base which is not explicitly or directly available in the knowledge base, but it can be logically derived from what is given in the knowledge base. Now, what is the significance of symbolic logic? The symbolic logic is descriptive as well as normative. Now, what is descriptive and what is normative? Descriptive means it tells how the human beings reason, and normative means it tells how the human beings should reason. Symbolic logic consists of both the descriptive as well as normative factor. Now, next is proposition statement. Proposition or statement. Statement which results in the form of true or false but not the both is known as a proposition. For example, you can see the examples here. The sun rises in the west, which is false. Sugar is sweet, which is true. These are propositions which can either be true or false but not the both. Now next is proposition. Proposition can be divided into two categories. which can be either true or false. Propositions can be universal truth proposition or universal false proposition. Universal truth means which always remain true in all the conditions. For example, the sun rises in the east. It is universal truth proposition. Similarly, if we say sugar is salty, it is universal false proposition because it remains false under all the conditions. Next is compound proposition. Now, what is compound proposition? You know what is simple proposition or statement which can either be true or false. If we talk about the compound proposition, then the proposition which can be created with the help of two or more proposition is a compound proposition. For example, you can see here the sun rises in the east but sun sets in the west. There are two propositions, that is, first is the sun rises in the east and the second is the sun sets in the west, and both the propositions are joined with the word but. So this is compound proposition, which is the combination of two or more proposition, or you can also say which is created with the help of two or more propositions. And other connectives that we can use to join both two or more propositions are and if then. And means if both are positive. For example, sun rises in the east and sky is clear. If both the conditions are positive, then we can join the propositions with the and operator. And if and then is used for conditional propositions, that is, for example, if it is not hot, or if it is hot, then it shall rain. So there are two connectives that can be used to form a compound proposition. Is it clear? Do you have any doubts? Okay, the next is proposition. Okay. The next is propositional logic. Propositional logic means symbols which are used to denote the propositions, and which is, these symbols are also called atomic formulas, or you can say atoms, which cannot be further divided into different parts. In propositional logic, there are various logical operators, or we can say connectivities, that can be used with propositional logic. For example, conjunction, disjunction, negation, implication and bicondition. Conjunction is denoted with this symbol, and conjunction means and operation. Disjunction is denoted with this symbol, and disjunction is for or operation. Negation denotes not, and it is denoted by these three symbols. Implication, this symbol is used for implication, that is if then, and bicondition is used for if and only if, and it is connected with this symbol. Now, implication rules. If we talk about implication, as we all knows about and or not, in and both the conditions should be true. That is, for example, we already discussed one example, that is sun rises in the east and sky is clear. Means if both the propositions are positive, then we use and. If from both the proposition only one proposition is positive and one is negative, for example, sun rises in the east or sun rises in the west, from both the propositions there will be only one proposition which will be true. So in that case or will be used. Negation is for not. And if we talk about implication, and if we talk about A implies B's, then it means if A is true and B is false, then output will be false, otherwise output will be true. Means in case first one is true and second one is false, only in that condition the output will be false, otherwise the output will be true. You can see the truth table of this. If there are two values, that is A and B, for two variables we have to take four different combinations. That is false, false, true, true, false, true, false, true. First combination is false, false. If both the conditions are false and if both the variables are true, then the output will be true. If first one is false and second one is true, then output will be true. But if first one is true and second one is false, then the output will be false. Similarly, if you want to find B implies A, B implies A means if B is false and A is true, if B is true and A is false in the second one, if B is true and A is false, only in that condition the output will be false, otherwise the output will be true. Next is by condition. If we talk about by condition, in this, if both input will be same, then the output will be true, otherwise the output will be false. You can see in this case, if both A and B are false or if both A and B are true, then the output will be true, otherwise the output will be false. Now, if we want to symbolically represent a proposition, as we talk about the symbolic proposition or symbolic logic, then it means we have to represent a proposition with the help of symbols. Now, if we talk about the symbolic representation of a proposition, then, for example, if there are two statements, that is Ram is honest and Ram is intelligent. The compound statement is Ram is honest and intelligent. Now, let H is a symbol for Ram is honest and I is a symbol for Ram is intelligent. We let two symbols, that is H and I, and for the compound proposition, that is Ram is honest and intelligent, we use and connectivities here, that is H and I. And for the truth table for this is, we take the four combinations, that is false, false, true, true, false, true, false, true. In the first case, if we talk about and, if both the conditions are false, then the value will be false. If one of the variable will be false, then the value will be false. But if both are true, then the and operations result will be true. This is the symbolic representation of proposition. There is another example for these logic connectivities, that is S implication B and R implication Q. It means there are total 4 variables there. So we have to take the combination of 16 values, that is S, P, R and Q. And to take the 16 combination, firstly we take 8 times false and 8 times true. Then 4 times false, 4 times true, 4 times false, 4 times true. Then 2 times false, 2 times true, 2 times false, 2 times true, and so on. And in last one, 1 time false and 1 time true. This means we take 4 different combinations, 16 different combinations of these 4 variables. And to find out the result of this equation, that is S implies B. Firstly, we find out the implication of S implies B, which will be true if both S and P are true, which will be true if S is false and P is true, which will be true if S and P both are false, but which will be false if the S is true and P is false. You can see here, if S is true and P is false, in these conditions the output will be false, otherwise it will be true. Similarly, R implies Q, then in case similarly, if R and Q both are false, then the output will be true. If the R and Q both are true, then the output will be true. If R is false and Q is true, okay, I will repeat it again. If we talk about implication, you can see if there are 2 variables and if we write down like A implies B, then it means if A is true and B is false, means the statement denoted by A is true and the statement denoted by B is false, then the output will be false, otherwise the output will be true. For example, if there are two variables A and B, firstly we have to create a truth table of these two variables, and for two variables the truth table will hold total 4 combinations because 2 raised to power 2 means 4. So we have to take total 4 combinations that we take, that is false false, false true, true false and true true. Now firstly we have to find out A implies B. If A is false and B is true, then the output will be, then the result will be true. The result will be false only if the A is true and B is false. Means if the first one is true and second one is false, only in that condition the output will be false, otherwise the output will remain true. Is it okay now? Okay, shall we move further? Similarly, you can see in this, there are two values, that is 4 variables, that is S, P, R and Q. You have to find out the implication of S and P and R and Q. Firstly, we take two variables, that is SP. If S is true and P is false in any condition, so in that condition only the result will be false, otherwise the result will be true. If we talk about R and Q, and in R and Q, if R is true and Q is false, that is in this condition the R is true and Q is false, the result will be false. Similarly, here that R is true and Q is false, the result will be false. Similarly, in this the R is true and Q is false, the result will be false. Now, after finding out S implication P and R implication Q, the next step is to find out the AND operation. You can see the AND connectivity here. You have to find out the AND operation between these two, that is true and true will result in true, true and true again result in true. If true and false is there, then the result will be false. In case of true true, the result will be true, and in other cases the result will be false. The next is precedence of operators. You can see there are non-logical operators, that is AND, OR, negation, implication and by implication. Now, there is well-formed formula. You can see the semantics of meaning in proposition logic. It means if A and B is there, as we already discussed about the by implication, and if we talk about and or not and by implication and implication connectives, then what will be the result? Now see, there are two variables, that is A and B. If you want to find out negation of A, negation of A means reverse of the value of A. If A is true, then negation of A will be false. If A is true, negation of A will be false. If A is false, negation of A will be true. Similarly, again if A is false, the negation of A will be true. If we talk about A and B, then A and B is there. In case A and B both are true, then the value of A and B is true, otherwise the value will be false. Similarly, if we talk about A or B, then if from A or B any of the variable is true, any of the statement is true, then the value will be true. For example, you can see if A and B both are true, then the value will be true, the result is true. If A is true and B is false, the result of A or B is true. If A is false, B is true, the result of A or B is true. But in case both are false, the result will be false. Next is A implies B. If you talk about A implies B, it will be false only in one condition, that is if A is true and B is false. Next is A by implies B, or by implication B. Then in by implication, if both are true and if both are false, only in these two conditions the result will be true, otherwise the result will be false. This is how we can find out different operations on the symbolic logics or symbolic propositions like and, or, not, implication and by implication. Is it clear? Okay. The next one is precedence of different logic connectives like BODMAS. BODMAS means if there are various operations given in a single statement or in a single problem, then how we can determine the order of evaluation of different operations. With the help of BODMAS, firstly brackets will be treated, then division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. Similarly, if we talk about the precedence of logic connectives, then the precedence of logic connectives have the sequence, that is firstly negation will be there, then and, then or, then implication, and then by implication is there. Means if there are various operations in a statement, then firstly we have to find out negation, then and, then or, then implication, and then by implication. Now, if these brackets are not given with this statement, then how we can find out the order? Firstly, negation will be find it out. There are total 4 variables A, B, R and S. So 16 combination will be there in truth table A, B, R and S. Firstly, the first operation that we have to find out is negation. If negation is there, for example, there is negation S. So firstly we will find out negation S, that is the negation of S, the reverse value of S. After the negation, if there is any AND operation, then we have to perform the AND operation. For example, there is AND operation between A and B. So next we will find out A and B. After it, OR is there, but there is no OR operation in this statement. So next one is implication. So we will find out the implication of A and B with R, and after finding out the implication of A and B with R and negation S, we will find out the by implication of A and B implies R and negation S. You can see here in this truth table A, B, R and S are there. Firstly we find negation of S, then we find A and B, then A and B implication R, and then the final result, that is A and B implication R and by implication negation S. This is all about the precedence of logical connectivities. Next is the symbolic representation. That is, if there are two statements, if I overslept, then I am late. Then there is a connectivity, that is implication, because if there is if then statement, to perform if then statement we have to use the implication sign. If we take or let I overslept as A, let I overslept A and I am late B, then to represent this statement, that it is if I overslept then I am late, then A implication B will be used. I am not late, if I am late is denoted by B, now we will discuss about the symbolic representation, that is if we represent any proposition with the help of symbols and if we want to connect these propositions with the help of logical connectivities, then how can we connect it? You can see there are three statements that if I overslept then I am late. Can you hear me now? You can see if we want to present a proposition with the help of symbols, like in this, if I overslept then I am late, I am not late, I didn't overslept. So there are basically two statements, that is I overslept and I am late. So let these two statements with the help of symbols, that is let I overslept A and I am late B. Now if you want to present if I overslept then I am late, there is if then statement, so we can present it with the help of implication, that is if I overslept, which is A, implication B, if A will be there then it implies B. And I am not late, if I am late is denoted by B, I am not late will be denoted by negation B. Then I did not overslept. Now if I overslept is denoted with the help of A, then I did not overslept is denoted with the help of negation A. So to represent this all these three statements we can use if I overslept then I am late, that is A implication B, I am not late, that is A implication negation of B, and I did not oversleep, that is negation of A. This is how you can represent propositional or symbolic statements or symbolic propositions. Next is argument. Argument means set of statements which consist of finite number of premises. That is assumed statements, or we can also say conclusions. Now, arguments can be valid or consistent argument. An argument is valid if the conclusion of the question or statements are also true in case of true. Like, for example, if A implies B or negation B is there, then firstly we have to find out A and B. We take total 4 combinations of A and B because there are 2 variables, so 4 combinations will be there, that is 2 raised to power 2. Then we find out A implies B, that will be false under only one condition, that if A is true and B is false, then only the A implication B will be false. Now negation A and negation B. If an argument will be valid if the conclusion of the question or statement are also true in case of true, means if first and second will be true, that is A implies B and negation B is true, then the conclusion of this, that is negation of A, also have to be true in case of valid argument. Means if there is any question that you have to find out the validity or consistency of argument. Then you have to find out the conclusion that if the conclusion of the question of statements are true in case of both the statements or triple or four statements are true, and the conclusion also is true in both in that condition, then only the argument will be valid argument. You can see, if you have to check, if you want to check it out that the proposition is valid or invalid, then you can see if you overslept, then you will be late. If you overslept A, and you will be late B. Now if you overslept, you will be late, that is A implies B. Then you did not overslept, that is negation A, therefore you are not late. So the conclusion of these two statements are negation B. So we have to check that in case A implies B is true and negation B is true, means in which both these statements results in true, then the negation of B also has to true. If the negation of B is also true, if negation of A and B, A implies B is true, then the statement will be consistent or valid statement. Now see, in this A implies B, A implication B is true under first and second condition. Negation of A is also used under first and second condition, but negation of B, that is conclusion, is not true under both these conditions. So this proposition of this statement is invalid, or we can say inconsistent. Means if there is any proposition given, then you have to check that if the conclusion is also true, in case the propositions are true, then the statement or proposition will be valid or consistent. Now if we talk about the sound argument. Sound argument is an argument that is valid and has true premises. Both are same. If the argument or proposition is not valid or not consistent, then it will be inconsistent, or you can say invalid statement. Now sound argument is an argument that is valid and has true premises. You can see examples. If you are reading this, then you are not illiterate. You are reading this, true premises, and you are not illiterate, means it is an argument that is valid and has true premises, like this. The next one of the important point is well-formed formula. Now well-formed formula can be known as atom. If we talk A is a well-formed formula, then negation of A will also be a well-formed formula. If A and B are well-formed formulas, then each of A and B, A or B, A implication B, A by implication B is a well-formed formula. And a well-formed formula can be obtained only by applying the above rules. It means if you say A is a well-formed formula, then negation A will also be a well-formed formula. If A and B are well-formed formula, then each connectivity between A and B, that is A negation A and B, A or B, A implication B, A by implication B is a well-formed formula, and any well-formed formula can be obtained by applying these three rules. Now see, if we talk about Q, P implies bracket start Q and negation R by implication S. It is a well-formed formula, but if we talk about P implication Q and, then after Q and one of the statement is missing there, because the AND operation will be performed between two variables. If one of the variable is missing, then it is not a well-formed formula. Similarly, P, Q and R, there is the connectivity missing between P and Q, so it is not a well-formed formula. Next is tautology. Tautology means it is a well-formed formula which is true under all interpretations. You can see the example here. If A and B, two variables are there, you find A and B, then A implication B, then we find A implication B and A, then we find A implication B and A implication B. If it is true under all the interpretation, the result of all the four interpretation are true in this case, then it is called a tautology. Means if you have to find out a proof that a particular well-formed formula supports tautology or not, then you have to make a truth table. Then if all the interpretation are true, then it will be a tautology. And if we talk about contradiction, then it is a well-formed formula which is false under all interpretations. Now you can see A, B, two values are there, or two variables are there. Firstly we find negation of B, then A implication B, then A and negation B, then after that we will find out the final value, that is A implication B and A and negation B. Now the result of this well-formed formula is false under all the interpretation. You can see here, so it is contradiction. Means if it is true in all the conditions, then it will be a tautology. Otherwise, if it is false in all the interpretation, then it will be a contradiction. This is all about the tautology and contradiction. If you have any doubts in the previous topics or in this one, then you can ask. Okay, next are the rules. Some of the rules, or you can say equivalences of propositional logic, that is, if E by implication G is there, then we can also write it as E implies G and G implies E. Similarly, these are the rules of equivalences of propositional logic, that is, if E by implication G is there, then we can also write it as E implies G and G implies E. Similarly, if there is E implication G, there is E implication G, then you can also write it as negation of E or G. If E or G is there, then E or G is equals to G or E, or E and G will be equals to G and E. Similarly, E or G or H will be equals to E or brackets G or H, and E and G and H will be equals to E and G and H. Means these are some of the rules. As I think you have already read in the Boolean algebra in discrete mathematics, E and false will be equals to E, and E and true will be equals to E. Similarly, E or true will be equals to true, and E and false will be equals to false. Then E or negation E will be equals to true, and E and E will be equals to E. Then if there is double negation, then negation will be cut by negation or crossed by other negation, which will be equals to E. And if we want to break the whole negation, that is if whole negation of E and G is there, E or G is there, then if we break or if we separate the whole negation, then negation of E and or will be converted into and negation of G will be there. Similarly, if whole negation of E and G will be there, then the and will be converted with or, and the negation will be break with two elements. This is the De Morgan's law. Next is normal forms. Any formula can be in different normal forms. That can be conjunctive normal form and disjunctive normal form. If we talk about CNF, that is conjunctive normal form, a formula is said to be in CNF, that is conjunctive normal form, if a formula has the form such that it is connected with all the AND operators in between, like even first element and second element, third element, and so on. Similarly, a formula is said to be disjunctive normal form if the formula or elements of the formula is connected with the OR operator, or we can say disjunction operator. You can see in case of DNF, OR is the main connectivity and the major connectivity is disjunction operator, and other operators are joined with the conjunction operator. Similarly, in CNF, the main connectivity will be AND, that is conjunction operator, and the internal will be disjunction operator. If there are two parts of a particular formula or function and one is connected with OR and second one is connected with and OR, and in between OR is there, means if there is no proper sequence of this OR and operators, then it cannot be in CNF or not in DNF also. If there is any symbol like implication or by implication symbol is there, so in that case also the formula is not in CNF and DNF. Now, if there is any function and any formula and we want to convert it in disjunctive normal form and conjunctive normal form, then we have to follow some of the steps. Like the step 1 is use the equivalences to remove the logical operator, that is by implication and implication. Now, as you see the previous rules, the by implication can be removed with the and implication operator. It means if E by implication G is there, then you can also write it as E implies G and G implies E. So the first step is to use the equivalences to remove the logical operators. By implication and implication, and to remove the by implication, that is E implies G, we can use E implication G and G implication E. Now, if we want to remove the implication sign, then to remove the implication sign, you can see again the formula. Implication can be removed with the negation of first element or second element. Similarly, if there is an implication sign, then it can be removed with negation of E or G. Then, after removing the logical operators, that is implication and by implication, next is to remove the negations if occur consecutively more than once. Now, if double negation is there, then negation will be cut down with the other negation, and negation A will be equals to E. Now, the next is we have to remove the negations if it occurs consecutively more than once, like if there is negation E, then the negation will be cut down with the negation and it will be equals to E. After removing the negation, we have to apply the De Morgan's to make the negation nearest to the atoms. Now, if there is whole negation of E or G, then the OR will be converted into and the negation will be applied on both the elements. Similarly, to break the whole complement, that is to make negation E and negation G, again the AND operator will be converted into OR operator and the whole negation will be breaked down. After using the De Morgan's law, the next step is to use the distributive law. In distributive law, if E or G and H is there, then it will be equals to E or G and E or H. Similarly, if E and bracket G or H is there, then E and G and E and G or E and H will be there. Now you can see an example. Again I will repeat the steps of conversion. That is, firstly we have to remove the equivalence. Firstly we have to remove the logical operators, that is implication and by implication. After removing the equivalence operators, we have to remove the double negation. After removing the double negation, we have to apply the De Morgan's rule, and after it we will use distributive law. Now, in this question, you can see firstly implication is there between A and negation B and C. Implication is there. So, firstly we have to remove this implication sign, and to remove this negation of first element or second element. Second element is negation B and C. So, we can write it as negation of A or negation of B and C. It means OR will be there in case of implication, and in case of A, negation A will be there according to the rules, and the whole negation will also be there. Now, after it, there is no double negation symbol. So, firstly we will apply the De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law is used to break the whole complement, this complement, into two parts. So, negation A OR will be converted into and negation B and C will be there. So, next step is to remove the double negation, that is negation will be cancelled. Similarly, if we remove this whole complement will be applied to negation B and C. So, negation B and C will be converted into and will be converted into OR, and negation will be cut down with the negation of B. So, the final result is A and B or C. The main connectivity here is disjunction operator, and which connect two elements, that is A, and second element is B or negation C. This is how we can find out the DNF or any other normal form. You can see other examples. If A implication B, implication R is there. So first of all we have to remove the implication symbol. To remove the implication, we will firstly remove the implication between A and B. So A is the first element, negation of A will be there, and instead of implication OR operator will be there. Negation of A or B, implication R. Now we have to remove the implication of R. So first element is negation A or B, and before this we place negation operator or R. Now after it we will apply De Morgan's law to break the whole negation. To break the whole negation, we will apply De Morgan's law. This is the first element and this one is the second element. This negation is on negation A or B. So we will break this negation, that is negation A and negation B, because OR is converted into AND. Negation will be cut down with the negation and the final result will be A and negation B or R, which is mainly connected with OR operator and which results in DNF. Again there is next question, that is negation bracket start A or negation B and S implication T. So firstly we will remove implication symbol, that is S implication T. So there will be negation S or T. Then after it we will apply De Morgan's law to remove or to break this whole complement. We will break this whole complement, that is negation A and negation B will be there. Negation will be cut down with the negation. So the final result will be negation A and B and negation S or T. Now we will apply distributive law, that is negation A and negation B and negation S and negation A, negation B and negation T, which is connected with the OR operator after applying the distributive law. Means if you want to find out the distributive of De Morgan law, if you want to find out the conjunction normal form or disjunctive normal form, then you must have the knowledge of these different laws, that is distributive law, De Morgan law, negation law and all. Now, if we talk about the CNF, in case of CNF, the main connective is conjunction operator, that is if A implication B, implication R is there. First of all, we will remove these implication symbols from R and from A and B, and after it we will apply De Morgan's law to break the whole complement. And then after using the distributive law, we will get A or and negation B or R, which results in conjunctive normal form. Next question is negation A and B or A and negation B. If we want to convert it in CNF, this is in DNF form, which is connected with OR operator, and if we want to convert it in CNF form, then there should be AND operator instead of OR. So firstly we will apply distributive law, then again we will apply distributive law. After it we will break the whole negations and the result will be equals to the CNF, that is conjunctive normal form. This is all about the normal forms in propositional logic, that is conjunctive normal form and disjunctive normal form. If you want to ask any question, if you have any doubts or any queries, then you can ask. Okay, so some of the important topics that are important from the point of view of your exams are normal forms, that is conjunctive and disjunctive normal forms, then checking the validity and consistency of a particular argument or set of arguments, and the logic connectivities or precedence of logic connectivities, yes, of course, you can ask later also. If you have any doubt, then you can ask in later classes also. So mainly 3 topics are there from the point of view, 3 or 4 topics are there from the point of view of your examinations, that is logic, non-logical operators, or you can say different connectivities, precedence of different connectivities, then checking the validity and consistency or inconsistency of propositions, and normal forms, that is CNF and DNF. You can see the examples of validity, checking the validity through truth table, normal forms, that is conjunctive and disjunctive normal forms, and some of the examples of normal forms are also there, which is connected with and. Now the next topic is predicate logic or propositional logic. Now firstly we will discuss about the predicate logics in this session. If we talk about FOPL, FOPL is first order predicate logic, and if we talk about the syntaxes of FOPL, then in FOPL you can see it has 2 additional concepts, terms, predicates and quantifiers. Quantifiers can be for all quantifier and there exist quantifier, and 2 special symbols are used to denote the quantifiers that you can see here, for all and there exist quantifiers. Now if we talk about pros and cons of propositional logic, then first of all, propositional logic is declarative. It allows partial, disjunctive and negated information. The propositional logic is compositional. It means the meaning of B1, B11 and P12 is derived from the meaning of B11 and P12. The meaning of proposition logic is totally dependent, totally context independent. Means unlike natural languages, it is context dependent, where meaning depends on the meaning does not depend on the context. Proposition logics has very limited expressive power. Unlike natural language, for example, cannot say pets causes breezes in adjacent squares. Now if we talk about the first order predicate logic, then whereas the proposition logic assumes the word contains fact, the first order predicate logic, that is like natural language, assume the world contains objects, relations and functions. Objects means the people, houses, numbers, colors, baseballs, games, wars, etc. Relations means red, round, prime, brother of, bigger than, part of, etc. And functions are father of, best friend, etc. Means unlike the propositional logic, in propositional logic a world contains fact, but in first order propositional logic it assumes that the word contains order, relations and functions. If we talk about the syntax of first order predicate logic, then there are individual symbols. There are individual symbols, or we can say constant symbols, which are usually names of the objects like Ram, Mohan, numbers like 3, 5, etc. If we talk about the variable symbols, then variable symbols means which are mainly lowercase letters like X, Y, Z, B. If we talk about the function symbols, then these are usually lowercase letters like F, G, H, or there can be string of lowercase letter such as father, product, etc. So in function if we talk about the FOPL, then you can also say there will be quantifiers, that is for all an existential quantifier will be there. For quality, the equal operator will be there, and connectivities like implication, by implication, and or and negation will also be there. Now, if we talk about the universal quantification, then the universal quantifier is denoted by for all and there exists, that is for all variables and sentences. If we talk everyone at NUS is smart, then we can also denote it with the help of for all x. At is a function here. If x is at NUS, then for all x, if then connectivity is there, means if x is at NUS, then the x will be smart. For all x, this function will be applied. It means, if we roughly speaking, equivalent to conjunction of instantiation of P. It means, for example, at John NUS, then smart. It means if John is at NUS, then the John will be smart. Similarly, if Richard is at NUS, then Richard will be smart, and if NUS is at NUS, then the NUS will be smart. Next is existential quantifier, which denotes there exist value. For the existential quantifier, the symbol is this. Write down the symbol, then variable and sentence. If we write down someone at NUS is smart, then we will use the existential quantifier, that is there exist. Means if there exist at if someone exists at NUS and someone is smart, it means if x exists if x exists at NUS and if x is smart, then there are some x or there are someone from the group of x which is smart. Now if we talk about the properties of quantifiers, then for all x, for all y is same as for all y and for all x. Similarly, there exists x and there exists y is same as there exists y or there exists x. Now there exists x and for all y is not same as for all y there exists x. There is a difference between these two orders. Now you can see there exists x for all y, function is loves and x comma y. It means there is a person who loves everyone in the world. For all y means for everyone. There exists a person, that is there exists x. For all y, that is for all y's, which loves is where loves is a function who loves everyone in the world. Similarly, if we write down everyone in the world is loved by at least one person, that is for all x, there is one person there exists which where loves is a function x and y. It means for all x or for everyone in the world is loved by at least one person. If we talk about the quantified duality, It can be expressed using the others, like for all x likes x ice cream. Negation, there exists x. Negation likes x ice cream. Means we can also say the quantified duality. Now, if we use the FOPL, that is first order predicate logic, then if we talk about the domain, then if brothers are sibling, then brother is a symbol, x and y are two siblings. It means for all xy who are brothers, they are also, it means if x and y is brother, then x and y are also siblings. Then one's mother is one's female parent. Similarly, mother is a function here. One's mother, that is mother of C. If M is female, and if M is a parent of C, C can be anyone. If both the conditions are true, then there exists M. If M is female as well as M is a parent of C. Similarly, again we use by implication, that is for all x and y which are siblings. If they are x and y are siblings, then only y will be the sibling of x. Means if x is sibling of y, then only the y will be the sibling of x. If and only if condition will be represented by implication sign. This is all about the FOPL introduction.